Excuse me, where's the agendas at?
The TuneIn app is the most convenient way to access all your favorite audio on the go. Download the TuneIn app and stay plugged in wherever your day takes you. With TuneIn, you can listen to the best music, podcasts, talk shows, sports, no matter where you are. Search for TuneIn in the App Store and download the app today. The TuneIn app is the most convenient way to access all your favorite audio on the go. Download the TuneIn app and stay plugged in wherever your day takes you. With TuneIn, you can listen to the best music, podcasts, talk shows, and sports, no matter where you are. Search for TuneIn in the App Store and download the app today.
Favorite songs with I created the email, but I haven't done anything. I can't give her anything. You can't even share the I got nothing. Yeah, it's there. She'll get it.
Wherever we would go. Oh, okay, great.
What's her first name? Oh, okay, so we got it wrong.
Yeah.
I'll have it pretty much ready.
Yeah.
Spring break stuff Friday. I'll just email him directly. Say that she's there.
Look no further. TuneIn. TuneIn, you can stay plugged in to what matters most, no matter where your day takes
Yes, I do.
Well, then again, you have to take a career.
I stand by that. That's on the back. I just sit right up there.
Oh, there's a
We're out there. Nobody else does either because you be sitting. Where did he go? On the way out of there. I take the kids over. It's not. I almost had a party. You were not nice. You were not nice. That's not nice. I'm gonna make them take I feel sick also and bored. You're gonna take all the pictures.
Did you make the choice yet?
I like it. Feel good.
It's like Easter.
Yeah, like Easter weekend. And like 2 days after spring, like the first day of spring. Next month is next month they get up. So I guess I have another spring thing I gotta do. They Memorial. No.
I didn't do it on camera. Do it on camera.
Speaking of that,
That's your jam. I love it. So I'm glad you showed me. It changed my life. It changed my life.
they had, I feel like they come a long way since they first started.
I'm telling you.
I use it all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
And then I offered it.
Did you see my response? I did. It was a good thing. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I just got it. Right, okay, so I'm not allowed to, right?
Sorry about that. Congratulations.
Is he a student of mine?
Easy peasy, right? Now be your guide. Like this, everybody. Right? Yeah, so you want to do that to everybody. Your teacher will be here to show how to do, okay? Yep. We got you covered.
Are you looking for a way to listen to your favorite audio on the go? Look no further than the TuneIn app. With TuneIn, you can stay plugged into what matters most, no matter where your day takes you.
I don't know why we start with the young ones. We should start with you guys so you be the example. We do it backwards. We should start the other way around.
The Honda Spring Event and take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now is the time to check out the Honda Civic and HRV. From Honda, the 2025 Kelly Blue Book's KDP.com Best Value Record.
Stay informed wherever you go with MS Now on TuneIn. Hear breaking news, expert analysis, and in-depth coverage of the stories shaping our world 24/7. From Morning Joe to the Rachel Maddow Show, MS Now brings you trusted voices and real-time updates straight to your ears. Search MS Now. Tell your device to listen to MS Now on TuneIn to start listening.
Are you looking for a way to listen to your favorite audio on the go? Look no further than the TuneIn app. With TuneIn, you can stay plugged into what matters most, no matter where your day takes you. Download the TuneIn app now and experience audio like never before. Stay informed with up-to-the-date news and headlines. TuneIn is your destination to listen to your favorite news outlets. Hear the latest updates from leading sources such as CNN, Fox News Radio, MSNBC,
That's fine.
These aren't them? Okay. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out this evening, especially the fine students getting their special Student of the Month awards. But I'd like to take the time right now to ask everybody if they got a cell phone to put it on silent mode so there's no distractions. And I've waited since the first month of January when I got sworn in as president to make it publicly known to everybody, not just the people in the audience, but sitting at this horse show. And it's out of respect. When we're speaking up here, or anybody else comes to that mic, and I'm gonna give you heads up one time. When people get up here, they're coming for a reason. We're here for a reason. Everybody thinks we get paid. We don't get paid. But when we're sitting here, and there's people, your own members, people in the audience, when they're rolling their eyes, giggling, laughing, demeaning the people, it's not gonna happen no more. And it's been going on for quite a time. So, before we start, I just want to get that out and air that. I'm not singling out nobody. I'd like to call the order for this meeting, Joseph Ty. First statement on the public meeting, Sunshine. Roll call, please.
Ms. Allstat?
Present.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Here.
Mr. Finkel?
Here.
Ms. Raisik is absent. Ms. L. Smith? Here. Ms. M. Smith? Here. Mr. Stefanski? Here. Mr. Ty?
Here.
And Ms. Carter?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna stand and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
All right, we're gonna present the presentations. It's gonna be the update on the progress of 2025-26 district goals.
That's correct. Thank you, Mr. President. On a yearly basis, we do some district goals for the district in which I report as the superintendent on the progress. So the first goal was to collaborate with the Office of Curriculum and Instruction and the building administrators to improve the literacy levels in our school district with an emphasis given to pre-K and 5. So we are currently involved in integrating iReady, which is a universal screening benchmark testing and supplemental for English language arts. And iReady will offer students personalized learning path. We are currently using a foundation literacy and is Reading Horizons, which is our main program, include phonics, handwriting, and spelling in grades K-3. And My View continues to support the core literacy in K-5. We used to have Achieve 3000, but that has changed now to Nucella. And all of that has come from the Office of the Curriculum. The Early Childhood Program will remain using the creative curriculum, but is supported now by NJ Grove and NJKA. We continue using also the tier support of the system of supports in all our grade levels. The goal number 2 was to work with the Office of the Special Education, the business administrator, and the building principals at the middle school and the high school to develop a program that will address the needs of our special education. Because some of the students in our special education cannot be confined to a certain classroom, right? So we need always to provide some support for them. And the district, with the approval of the Board of Education, began with a program that was called Chance Life. After we continue studying the program, it did not offer our students in the middle school and the high school what we were looking for. So what we did was we continued researching, and I suggested to the principals and the board that we will contract with a program called CESI. We have adopted CESI, the Board of Education approved it last year. We continue working with them. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, the state of New Jersey is coming to have a conversation with us about the program. The program is currently working in the middle school. That's where it began, where Mr. Mendoza is the principal. And now this year is in the high school where Ms. O'Brien is the principal. It's called the High Roads of Salem County. It has worked beautifully. The parents are very pleased with that. We only have a certain number of seats because it's not for everybody, right? It's for that specialized group of special education students. CESI, with its special educational services, supports and addresses academic, behavioral, and emotional needs of the students. The third goal that we have is also working with the building principals to deliver a framework to address all the needs of students to the regular use of data. And I have to say that the curriculum office, along with the supervisors and the building principals, right, because one person cannot work in isolation, have worked with programs like Alex, MobiMax, APUS Learning, Mike 180, Number Worlds, to continue working. And now we are piloting, as I mentioned before, the iReady program as a potential and primary tool to do benchmark assessments, because it will provide an individualized learning from the students. We have our teachers that have created benchmark assessments for the school district also, but we continue working for this year on tiers 2 and 3 in intervention for students that are performing significantly low, the grade level. We still not perfect, but we are addressing and growing the students' learning. So with that, Mr. President, we will conclude my presentation on
Thank
the
you, Dr.
goals for the
Bovee.
district.
Now I'd like to introduce Ms. Christina Hunt on the budget.
Yeah, we have a stage way to the budget. Tonight, we're gonna present what is called the tentative budget. It's a presentation for the Board of Education, because everybody is aware that we have received a percentage of 6% of funding from the governor, right, the governor's office. That 6% funding equate around $2.5 million. And with that, what we use that money for? The money that we use is to educate our students, right? And to educate with our students, we need teachers, we need CST members, we need counselors, nurses, we need staff, we need directors, supervisors, in order to provide that thorough and efficient education for our students. I apologize, this seat is getting lower and lower. I'm not too tall, so.
Well, no.
That's fine, I will do it.
Mine was
with
pretty
this.
high up before I sat here.
So we need also a thorough curriculum, a good curriculum, and you see that as part of the goals, I only touch what is being used in our district for our students, because every grade level has a certain need. You saw that is K-5, middle school, and high school. And each grade level has specific needs that need to be addressed. So the money that we get from the state, we spend in that. This is a district that I have to say, many districts out there are reducing staff members right now. We don't have to. You will see that this budget has been prepared very cautiously and thoroughly, so we can use every single penny to serve our students. Because the Board of Education, myself, and the staff in the district is here to serve that, to serve our students. So we use not only the curriculum, we use technology. You know that we have done Chromebooks for everybody. We have done programs and materials that we use. You heard me hearing saying that we are piloting now the iReady. We have the safety and the security for our students. Our schools were open before to anybody coming in. Now you have a vestibule, and the vestibule, thanks to Ms. Bird and her knowledge, Ms. Bird is here with us today, right there. She's our technology person, very knowledgeable, and it was a great hire. Everybody's a great hire, including the superintendent, right? For the school district, because the more you know, the better it is to serve our students. So not only with the Chromebooks, but now is that security that we have parents coming in. At the beginning, our community has been very good, because at the beginning, they're concerned, they complain, but they have no problem because it's to ensure our students are safe. So the money is used for that. The money is used for facilities and for the equipment that we need to cut the grass, to remove the snow, because this winter was intense, right? So we have now some snow removals. As a matter of fact, Mr. Tackle, which is the director of buildings and grounds, came to us and said, one of the plows broke, we need 2 new ones. And one of them, I was not aware, they are $8,000, just the plow, right? And we need the salt and we need the manpower to do that. I am very proud, and Mr. Ty always mentions it. He commends our buildings and grounds, maintenance, custodial, and grounds, because they're the ones that while we are at home cozy, right? And looking outside the window, oh, the snow is so pretty. They are out here in temperatures that were below 0, cleaning and ensuring all the sidewalks, all the buildings, the parking lots. We even cleaned the parking lot right across the Lafayette Pershing, because we use that as a parking space. So they are here doing that. So all of that is part of what this budget uses. We also have a new enrollment study. 10 years ago, I did an enrollment projection Why do we need an enrollment projection? Because I need to know what's gonna happen and plan for the future on how many students are gonna come to our district. Hence the expansion for the preschool, right? That Lafayette Pershing School, we are expanding. It's not a different school, it's a school that is part of Lafayette Pershing, and it will host the students in pre-K. It's a long list that we have waiting, but now we are going to be able to serve our universe. And Ms. Hunt will provide you with that description of what we're using the money for, and of course, what you're interested, how much my taxes are going to increase. But remember that school tax is the tax that we use to educate our students. And I have always tried to keep it to a minimum, right? So what's gonna happen with this tentative budget tonight? There is a timeline for preparation, so we have to adopt it tonight. On March 23rd, which is today, we're gonna have that discussion with the board, its presentation with the board. On April 27th, when it's finalized, we're gonna have what is called a budget hearing, where the public can ask questions about the budget if there's any. Usually, the tentative budget that we present tonight doesn't change at all. So it's normally the same things. If the taxes change, it will be the board deciding if there are any changes, right? Because the board ultimately is the ones that decide. But this budget will be sent to the state of New Jersey for their approval. They're the ones that are gonna look at it and decide, no, you have to change this, no, you have to change that. So what is in the budget, that is where the business administrator, Ms. Christina Hunt, is the expert, and she will talk about that.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So to talk about the financial components of our budget for next year. So as Dr. Copian did say, we did receive a 6% increase in our state aid of $2.5 million. In addition to that, our preschool aid, because now we're gonna be at our universe for 3 and 4 years old for next year. We received an additional $6.2 million for our preschool program. And then we have something called debt service. This is from a bond issue that was done about over 10 years ago that we have to pay down in 20 years. So the amortization with that principal and interest is actually a reduction, a decrease of $10,800 to give us a net increase of a little over $5.1 million. In addition to that, we are recipients of ESSA and IDEA funds, federal funds. So that is, ESSA is our title program, Title 1, 2, 3 immigrant, Title 1 SIA, and Title 4. So we budgeted in anticipation on the current year allotment that we received, 75% for next year, for approximately $1.7 million for those federal grants. Some major costs within our budget for next year. One of the biggest is health insurance. Right now, projected for next year, a little over $9 million of health insurance costs, which represents approximately a 32% increase over the current year's budget. Tuition for our special ed students, these are our out-of-district placements. About approximately almost $2.6 million, which represent a 10% increase over this year. Our transportation for our special ed population, $2.1 million, which is a 12% increase over this year. Transportation for our regular ed students, approximately $2.4 million, which represents an 11% increase. And then for our utilities for our buildings, approximately $1.2 million, which represent a 20% increase. So even though we have increase in state aid, 6%, but as you can see, some of the biggest cost drivers are over that 6%. So, next important piece, our tax levy. Our tax levy for our FY27 year Again, we're allowed to go up 2%. For the FY 27 year, we are doing a 0% increase. Meaning we're keeping the tax levy at the same level as we did for this current year of $11,118,000. So with that, we have something where the state of New Jersey said adequacy. What is Grove-Carneys Point adequacy? So adequacy is what the state said for the district to provide a thorough and efficient education. So with state aid, tax levy, the tax levy, we are under adequacy, and this number keeps going up every year. Our district is under adequacy by almost $7 million. So then, when we look at our levy and the values of Grove and Carneys Point. So this year, there is an increase in the net change in valuation for both. In Grove, there was a slight increase of $108,000 of valuation. And in Carneys Point, a significant increase in valuation of approximately $392.4 million in valuation. So our net change in the valuation for the townships, boroughs, $392.5 million of increased valuation. And then what I shared with the board, the trends of the tax levy over 6 years period. So again, for next year, looking at a 0% tax levy increase, keeping it at the flat amount that we did for the current year of $11,118,000. In our current year budget, compared to the prior year, we actually did a 2% tax levy increase. And prior to that, in the 2 prior years, there was a 0% increase. And then in the 21, 22, 22, 23 year, there was actually a decrease in the levy. Any questions so far?
When you say under adequacy, sorry, when you say under adequacy, so is that funding that we're supposed to be making up, funding that the state is supposed to be making up? Could you explain that a little bit more?
So under that is the difference of, once we receive state aid, that's the difference that the local share is supposed to make up, which is through the tax levy. So again, we're under adequacy by almost $7 million.
Any other questions?
I know it's a lot of numbers, it's kind of late, so that's next, it's coming up. So just going more into our revenue comparison, so our district budget is made up of several revenues. We have our Fund 10, which is the operating budget. We have a Fund 20, which is the grants. We have a Fund 40, which is our debt service. So in our operating, which is the Fund 10, our total revenue stream for our operating budget is $56.4 million, of which our state aid of $44.3 million is roughly 78.5% of our operating revenues. Then our levy is the next highest portion of that. So again, with our tax levy of $11,118,000, that represents about 20% of our operating revenue in the operating budget. And we have smaller revenue items such as tuition that we receive, because we are a receiving district. We kept those revenues flat over the current year at almost $400,000, which is a 0.7% of our budget. Miscellaneous revenues that include interest revenues, rent revenues, and admissions to sports events, keeping that flat as the same as this year of $325,000, which represents 0.6%. And then we have extraordinary aid. This is extraordinary services for our special ed population. Also keeping that number flat at $285,000, which is 0.5% of our revenue. And this, extraordinary aid is basically a reimbursable back to us from the state of New Jersey to provide these extra services for our special education population, and we usually receive the reimbursement a year later. And we don't know what the state will project as how much is reimbursable and what percentage is reimbursable. So that's why we keep it flat, as it was for, this budget year. And then the smallest piece, our semi-reimbursement is $38, which is, a decrease over the current year. And again, our total grant entitlements, so our Fund 20s, so almost $8 million in grants. But the biggest piece is that preschool, education aid of $6.1 million, represent 77% of our Fund 20 grant and entitlement revenue. And then the federal grants, the ESSA and the IDA, again allocating 75% of the current year amount of almost $1.7 million, is 22%. And then student activities of $125,000. This is something that we have to budget in Fund 20 based on the audit program. And this is just student activities that is fundraised and is cut separate from the district budget. But for auditing purposes, we have to report it in our Fund 20 of $125,000. And then our next section is the repayment of debt, the Fund 40. So again, that 20-year debt payment, we're in our 12th year of paying that down. And this is through the debt service tax levy, $458,625. This year, transfer from capital reserve, we are budgeting 0 for that. In the current year, we withdrew $1.8 million to go towards redoing the Carlton playground once the expansion is done, doing that new playground. So for this upcoming year, we are keeping that 0 because during the governor's address, there's potentially gonna be an allocation of ROD grant money of $350 million that the district will be going after. We can use those ROD grants. One state aid piece could pay 40% of those costs and is on a reimbursable base. And we're looking to address roof replacements, HVAC, and boilers when those ROD grants are released. So we're actively gonna, and cross our fingers that do come out so we could take care of those capital needs that we, and the state will pay for that piece, so we don't have to do 100% of those costs. And then the last portion is the budgeted fund balance for this budget year. Almost $1.8 million that we are using for fund balance to balance the budget, compared to $2.6 million that was used in this current year. And what our fund balance is, this is what is budgeted, is the excess surplus that is restricted to be used in the FY 27 year, based on our FY 25 audit report. The district still is required for the 2% of unrestricted surplus that we are maintaining, 2% of your general fund budget as unrestricted surplus. And then what the surplus is, if, for the public to know, is basically a savings to be utilized by the district for emergencies and cash flow situations if we need to tap into that, if something extraordinary happened, that we have that to be able to utilize. I need some water. Give me 1 second.
That was a lot of words.
Yes.
But it's just an explanation
Yes.
for the board on where the money goes that is given to us by the state of New Jersey, right? Where that money goes, she's explaining the numbers of where it goes. I explain where it goes for the curriculum instruction for our students.
So then back to our net, valuation increases, again, for Carneys, for Penns Grove. The valuation change from this year was $108,800, and for Carneys Point, the, net change in valuations was, $392.4 million. And again, based on our equalization valuation with the debt, I know this is a lot of like, what is she talking about? To see how much of a percentage Penns Grove would pay for the tax levy versus how much, Carneys Point would pay. So based on those numbers, Penns Grove will pay, 18.42, I'll just round up, because it goes on forever, percent of the tax levy, and Carney's Point 81.6% of the tax levy. So that's how it's broken up between the two, the county and the borough. So the change in the school tax rate, again, we're just looking at taxes for the school tax only. So, for Penns Grove, for this coming year, the rate is $1.51 compared to this current year of $1.44. So that is an estimated change in the tax rate of a little over 7 cents. All right? The estimated change to the school tax itself is not 7 cents. It's based on the average home assessment for Penns Grove. That assessment home value of $87,311 at a almost slightly 7 cents amount will give us an estimate for per home assessed value at that $87,311, a school tax amount of $62.95, almost $63 per assessed value. So then for Carney's Point, this year, rate is at 87 cents due to the substantial increase in the valuations compared to this current year of $1.35 is actually a decrease in the change rate of almost 50 cents. So for Carney's Point, the average home assessment of $242,100, based on that decrease in rate, will give us a change in the school tax for Carney's Point estimated to be a decrease of $1,178. And again, these are on homes assessed at $83,311 for Penns Grove, and homes assessed at $242,100 for Carney's Point.
Any other questions? From anybody from the board have any questions? I have a question for you. As far as preschool education aid, that $6 million that we're gonna receive this year, is that for the development of the preschools, like as far as the materials and teaching standards, or is that for the new construction's going on?
No, the construction is totally separate for this.
All right.
So that, 6.1 is to operate that preschool program. And just to let the board know and the public know, that 6.1, it includes over $4 million of preschool aid. We had carryover of unspent funds from the 25 school year of over $555,000, plus the district has to pay the local share for the special ed, the inclusion piece of preschool, and that's over $1 million. So those three components equal the total preschool aid to fund the preschool program.
Which is the salary, the body, the
Everything,
benefits, the
yes.
materials, the equipment, the technology, that's what it will cost.
Yes.
They give us separate money for that.
Any other questions from the board?
Okay, so now, let's do on the
Now we're gonna move on to
next part of the.
the student of the month, which they rightfully all deserve.
Mike.
And the first,
Thought it was black, but it's.
and the first student will be Nathan Emiliano Cohen Orgino from Lafayette Pershing. Parent, nominating teacher for Stafford, presenting Stafford Sequoia.
Good evening. We would like to present to you our student of the month, Nathan. Nathan has done a wonderful job in his first year of school. He has been working hard to learn English, making great progress every day, and confidently building his academic skills. Nathan has also made new friends and shows kindness and respect to everyone around him. We would also like to recognize his parents, whose strong support and partnership with us have played an important role in his success. We are very proud of you, Nathan, and look forward to seeing all of that you will continue to achieve. Congratulations, love your kindergarten teachers.
Come on up, bud. There you go. There you go. Nice job. There you go. You got it. Nice job.
There you go. This one to everybody.
Everybody.
Oh, no.
Keep up the good work. All right, second, we have as the Dias, Jolie and Maduro from the Field Street School, and being nominated by Laura Cole.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to nominate Abjaz as my student of the month. I've had the pleasure of working with Abjaz for 2 years. When he first came to my class in January of last year, it did not take me long to recognize his exceptional personality. Since the first day of class, Abjaz has demonstrated tremendous effort and has brought great energy to our classroom. He is an honest, hardworking student who constantly puts 110 into his work and never gives up, even when it gets tough. Abjaz always is looking for a challenge and strives to do his best. Not only is he an extremely kind person, he is trustworthy, reliable, good-humored, and a friend who supports others in and out of our classroom. He always puts his classmates' feelings first and is willing to help a friend in need. I'm very proud of Abjaz, and I'm confident he will continue to display this same commitment and diligence in everything he does. I'm looking forward to seeing all the great things he accomplishes in school and in his future. Keep working hard.
Now we can. It's fine. Can we take a picture?
Great job. All right, next up, even though the person's not here, I'm gonna call him the recognition anyway. And this is, student's name is Angel Alvarez Morales.
Joe, she's here.
Field, he's here,
Oh, she's
okay.
perfect.
Very, very good, thank you. From the Field Street School, her mother and father, Elva Morales, Jamie Alvarez Perez, nominating and presenting is Sandra Beals.
All right.
Is my paper again? Right. I was told it was gonna be here. Thank you. Angel. This month, I am proud to recognize Angel as my student of the month. Angel is a shining example of what it means to be kind, responsible, and hardworking member of our classroom community. From the very first day of school, Angel has shown a positive attitude towards learning. He comes to class prepared, listens attentively, and always gives his best effort. Whether he's solving tricky math problems, writing creative stories, or working on group projects, which he does very well, always. What makes Angel truly stand out is his kindness. He greets everyone with a smile, he offers to help classmates without being asked, and treats everyone with respect. When a new student joined our class last month, Angel volunteered to be their buddy, making sure they felt welcome and included. Angel also demonstrates great perseverance. Even when faced with challenges, he doesn't give up. He asks thoughtful questions, he tries different strategies, and he celebrates his progress. His determination inspires those around him to keep going too. We are so proud of Angel's achievements and the positive examples he sets every day. Congratulations, Angel, you've earned this.
Give it to the board member for the picture.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I took it from her.
It's yours.
There we go. We're gonna go around
Nice job. Okay, next student of the month. Giselle Lillian Rodriguez, Paul W. Carlton. Is she here tonight? No. No, okay, that's all right. We can, sort of report, right? Dana Thomas.
So excuse my phone, I didn't know it was my.
Yeah, we got one for you.
So good evening, everybody. My selection for February Citizen of the Month is Giselle Rodriguez. I chose Giselle because she demonstrates perseverance, bravery, kindness, a willingness to ask for help and to help others. Giselle is naturally a little shy, but she continues to amaze me with her bravery and perseverance by joining several school groups. She was currently part of the PWC's choir and the Flamers dance team, both including performing in front of large crowds. I'm sure she gets nervous and may want to give up, but she doesn't. That ability to keep going is huge, especially for a student her age, and it's a strength that will take her far in life. Also, Giselle is kind to others. I am a very observant person, and I quietly watch interactions Giselle has with others. She speaks to them with compassion and a gentle voice. While watching, I see her caring spirit. However, what I admire most about Giselle is her willingness to ask for help, accept it, and apply it. Knowing you need help and asking for it, and then using that support is the key to success in anything. Giselle has embraced this, and the positive changes in her schoolwork are clear. I'm so thankful for the hard work she and her mother put into her making these improvements, and I appreciate their trust. Again, I'm so proud to have selected Giselle as this month's citizen and to have her as part of our class and our school community. Thank you. I guess.
Congratulations.
I have no problem doing that.
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas.
No problem.
All right, next student of the month, Aldrina Sophia Felix Galvez, Paul W. Carton School, mother and father, Monica Galvez and Franklin Felix, and presenter and nominating teacher is Ashley Mosley.
Yes, Dr. Cooper. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm Miss Ashley Mosley. Dr. Kobian is so gracious to translate paragraph for paragraph Ari's speech because I want Mom to relish in her achievements as well.
Nice.
I will say it's my first year teaching in this district, and there are so many wonderful students that I could have chosen, but when I thought of Citizen of the Month, I thought of Ari because of how much growth she's made We have so many students that work hard and so many students that are kind and they are leaders, but Ari has grown so much. Not only is she those things, but the Ari from September till now. Oh gosh, you really have, you've grown so much, and I'm getting emotional. Okay, so, I am proud to speak today about Ariadne Felix Galvez and the growth she has shown this year at Paul W. Carleton School. Ariadne has grown because of her hard work, her willingness to ask questions, and her active participation in class. Even on the most challenging days, she stays engaged and continues trying. She does not give up when learning feels difficult, and that perseverance has helped her become a stronger and more confident learner.
La maestra, que es el primer año aquí, está muy orgullosa de estar en la escuela y dice que pudo haber escogido muchos estudiantes, pero ella escogió tu niña. Y entonces ella me ha pedido que traduzca para que tú entiendas lo que se está diciendo de ella. Ella está muy orgullosa de tener a Adrián en la clase de ella. La nena ha desarrollado un crecimiento intelectual increíble mientras ha estado en la escuela con nosotros. Ella participa, es muy alerta, hace preguntas. De hecho, en los días más difíciles, ella se mantiene ahí y continúa intentando aunque ella no pueda. No se rinde, aprendizaje, no, aunque sea difícil, ¿verdad? Y tiene mucha perseverancia. Continúa así, es una estudiante que tiene un programa y una habilidad de aprender increíble.
Ariadne has also shown great courage by stepping out of her comfort zone. She participated in Paul W. Carleton's new podcast program and recorded an episode, which was a big accomplishment. She's an empathetic and kind person who treats all of her teammates with respect, whether they are her close friends or not. Ariadne helps others feel included, valued, and supported.
Adriana tiene una valentía que la domina a ella. Ella participó en un programa nuevo que tenemos en la Paul W. Carleton, que es de producción. Es lo que la maestra dijo que es el podcast, pero es un programa de producción nuevo que nosotros tenemos. Ella es muy simpática, muy alegre, es muy amable, es respetuosa con todos, con sus compañeritos de trabajo y con los adultos. Y ella ayuda a todos los demás estudiantes para que se sientan valorados e incluidos. Su mamá está haciendo muy buen trabajo.
Ariadne Felix Galvez is an important part of the Paul W. Carleton community. As a member of band and an active participant in school activities, she contributes in many positive ways. She is respectful to all teachers and staff and sets a strong example of character and responsibility. We are very proud of the person and student she is becoming.
Adriana Feliz Galvez es un componente muy importante en la escuela de nosotros, ¿verdad? De Paul W. Carleton. Como ella participa en la banda y también participa en actividades escolares, ella es muy positiva en la manera que ella contribuye. Es respetuosa con todo el mundo, como ya te indiqué. Es un ejemplo de carácter y responsabilidad para el resto de los niños de la escuela. Estamos muy orgullosos, los maestros y el principal de la escuela que está sentadito ahí, el Dr. Baines, ¿lo conoces? Dr. Baines, levante la mano. Todos ellos están muy orgullosos de tu niña y en lo que se ha estado convirtiendo. Así que has hecho otra vez muy buen trabajo. Thank you, Miss Mosley.
Thank you.
Alright, our next student of the month is Ashley Juliet Lopez Cibelos, middle school, Penns Grove Middle School. Parent Carla Calvos, and nominating teacher and presenting Eleanor Garcia and Heidi Wolf.
I'll present. Hi, I'm Miss Wolf. I'm going to be presenting for Miss Eleanor Garcia. Dear Penns Grove-Carneys Point Board of Education, it is a privilege to formally nominate Ashley Lopez for Citizen of the Month Award. Having observed Ashley's English proficiency growth and dedication within my 8th grade ESL class, I am confident that she exemplifies the academic excellence and work ethic this honor represents. The primary driver for this nomination is Ashley's extraordinary commitment to her studies. She approaches every assignment with a level of rigor and thoroughness that is often difficult for ESL students. Whether tackling complex projects or routine classwork, Ashley consistently goes beyond the basic requirements to ensure her work is of the highest caliber. Beyond her individual output, Ashley's strength is most evident in her resilience. When faced with challenging concepts of being bilingual and learning English as a second language, she does not settle for a surface level understanding. Instead, she proactively seeks feedback, engages in deep self-study, and demonstrates a persistent attitude that inspires her peers. Her discipline has resulted in significant academic achievements and has set a high standard for the rest of the class. Ashley is a focused, independent, and hardworking student who embodies the values of our school community. I can think of no one more deserving of this recognition. Thank you for your time and for considering Ashley Lopez for this well-earned honor to be Citizen of the Month.
Nice job. All right, next student of the month, Isaac Tristan Gaines, Pennsville Middle School. Parent Christopher Gaines and Stephanie Zazas. Heidi Wolf, nominating teacher. Heidi Wolf, presenting.
Hello, dear Penns Grove-Carneys Point Board of Education. I'm honored to recommend Isaiah Gaines for Citizen of the Month. Isaiah is a truly wonderful student who brings positivity and enthusiasm to our classroom every day. Isaiah is a very sweet and kind young man who is always happy to come to school. His cheerful attitude is contagious, and he consistently brightens the classroom with his smile. He treats his classmates and teachers with respect and compassion, making him a positive role model for others. Academically, Isaiah maintains great grades and takes pride in his work. He puts forth his best effort in all subjects and demonstrates responsibility by completing assignments on time and to the best of his ability. His dedication to learning is evident in everything he does. Isaiah is so incredibly helpful. Whether assisting a classmate with a question or volunteering to help with classroom tasks, he is always willing to lend a hand. His cooperative spirit and strong character make him a valued member of our school community. Outside of school, Isaiah enjoys watching football in his free time. His interests help him connect with others and contribute to his well-rounded personality. Isaiah Gaines exemplifies the qualities we look for in a Citizen of the Month recipient: kindness, responsibility, academic excellence, and a positive attitude. I'm proud to recommend him for this recognition.
Next student of the month, Jamaja Genevieve Alaisi Hines, Penns Grove High School. Parent guardian, Tyra Melton and Brian Hines. Nominating teacher, Robert Wilczek, and presenting Robert Wilczek.
Board of Education, fellow colleagues, and committee members. I am pleased to recognize Samia Hines, did I get that right? Yeah. For her exceptional contributions in my Wood Tech class. Samia consistently demonstrates outstanding character, approaching every task with diligence, maturity, and a genuine desire to learn. Her kindness sets a powerful example for her peers, and she's always willing to lend a hand assisting classmates with projects and helping maintain a positive, productive classroom environment. Samia's work ethic and integrity make her a standout student, and it is a privilege to have her in class. I am confident she will continue to excel in all she pursues. You know we're gonna have to make a frame for that, right?
Nice job. All right, next student of the month, Eduardo Antonio Munoz Padilla, Penns Grove High School, parent guardian Louis Canandia, a nominating teacher Jennifer Shaw, and presenting Lori O'Brien.
Good afternoon, Board of Education, and for the parents as well. How are you? Well, congratulations. Congratulations. Tonight I have the honor of presenting to you guys Eduardo. Also, Eduardo is a very nice dresser as well. He's got these cowboy boots he wears. I think those boots will wear me, so every time I see him, I tell him how much I like those boots. This is from Ms. Shaw, and she is his dance teacher. It is a pleasure to have Eduardo on our dance class. He is such a kind, helpful young man who truly leads by example. I'm so grateful for his bilingual skills. Whenever a translator is needed, he jumps right in without hesitation. Even though he's a bit shy, his joy in dance class is evident by the smile on his face. Whether it's playing soccer for Penns Grove High School or interacting with his classmates, Eduardo's respectful nature shines through, making him a wonderful role model for everyone around him. What stands out most about Eduardo is his determination and positive spirit. No matter what he may be going through, he comes to class ready to try his best and give his full effort. He approaches every challenge with a can-do attitude and never lets obstacles hold him back. His resilience, combined with his genuine kindness, creates a welcoming and encouraging environment for others. Eduardo consistently treats everyone with respect and compassion, and his steady optimism uplifts those around him. He is not only a dedicated student and athlete, but also a remarkable young man whose character and perseverance make him truly special. He is an excellent role model and representation of our school and community. Ladies and gentlemen, Eduardo.
Nice job.
Oh, snap. I gotta
At this time, I would like to invite all the students and the presenters up front for a group picture. And principals. You have to get the picture. Ask for pictures. Okay, will the principals please step forward in the group picture?
knew that spot so well.
Ready? All right. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody, students, their parents, the teachers, the presenters, everybody's welcome to stay. But if you have something better to go to, you're welcome to go. All right? All right, at the present time, I would like to have Mr. Aaron Robinson, Penns Grove student representative, come up and speak. All right, sit right there.
Good evening, everyone. Everybody's But good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here once again, reporting what's going on at the high school. But I must commend Dr. Kobion for a wonderful engagement a few weeks ago where she was honored for Salem County Woman of Achievement. Was exceptional as well. Just a few things going on at the high school as of recently. Just this past week, since Wednesday, we had a successful school play which we put on Wizard of Oz under the direction of our new theater teacher, Miss Devin Duffy, and that was a great production, The Wizard of Oz. And it was very strategic this year because we had students from the second grade all the way up until the high school participating in that. So that was very good. A few weeks ago, we also had our jazz festival under the direction of Mr. Kenneth Rafter, which was hosted at the high school. That was another great event. I was there for a short amount of time. Some weeks ago, we also, everything has been some weeks ago now. So some weeks ago, we also recognized and appreciated students who partook in the winter sports during our Winter Sports Award banquet. And I do give a standing ovation to our athletic director, Mr. Anwar Golden, for all the work that he does and all of the coaches and what have you. Last week, in the midst of the play, I do commend the junior students who were involved. They took the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment, and I remember last year how difficult. But the state says we have to do it, so why not? And also a round of applause to the Penns Grove High School physics and environmental science students advised by Ms. Shannon Tyson, who have progressed to the Delaware Valley Science Fair after placing first, second, and third place at the Salem County Science Fair. For the next phase of that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. And like I said, when I first met you, I wasn't aware you were Aaron's child. And you do a great job.
Thank you.
You're a very noble young man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, now we're gonna open up for public discussion. This meeting will now be open to members of the public who wish to speak or make comments on agenda items or on a school district issue that may be of concern to the residents of Penns Grove and Carneys Point. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, the board president has set aside 5 minutes as the length in which a participant may comment or speak during the public discussion. Any person who wishes to speak must wait to speak until they have been recognized by the presiding board officer. Out of respect for other members of the public that may wish to speak, the board requests that each speaker cede the floor to the next member of the public as soon as they finish making their respective comments. If your questions or comments pertain litigation, student or personal matters, the board asks that you see the superintendent after the meeting, since the board does not pursuant to Open Public Meeting Acts, discuss to respond to these items. Sign in, who's ever first up, who's gonna speak? Excuse me, Aaron, fix that mic for them. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Adele Hill, and the reason why I'm here is because I was a long-term substitute teacher at Lafayette Persian School for 76 days. 76 days I was in this classroom, and I did not receive my compensation for a long-term sub at Lafayette and Persian School. I worked for ESS, and ESS contacted Dr. Kovian about the pay, and she denied it. And I want the board member to know that when I worked at Lafayette and Persian for about 7 years as a paraprofessional and as a substitute teacher. I was a moderator, I could show you the schedule, and all the work that I have done as a paraprofessional and use my certification as a substitute teacher. And I was not compensated, and I want my compensation for a long-term sub, no more, no less. I'm just asking for the pay for the service that I did at Lafayette and Persian School. And I can show you the email of what Dr. Kovian had said to ESS. I can show you the schedule and other schedules that I had for being a substitute teacher and a paraprofessional, a monitor, building sub, anything that the school needed, I did it. And again, I want to be compensated for being a long-term substitute teacher for 76 days in this classroom. And if you want to see the documents.
Yeah, Mrs. O, if you would like to discuss this further with the superintendent and myself, you're more than welcome after the meeting's over to come back and we'll discuss further.
Dr. Kovian and I, we did talk, and I told her that I was gonna present it to the board.
Right, and I do appreciate you, we spoke several times, I do appreciate you being out here and coming forthright. But like I said, if you wanna discuss it further, you have the right to come back with me and Dr. Kovian, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you. Next.
I don't think I need the mic. Good evening, Colleen Green. I'm the Director of Food Services here in the district. I just wanted to come tonight and publicly invite the Board of Education, my colleagues, and the public for our 3rd annual wellness event that we are hosting at Penns Grove High School on May 6th. We would love for you to come out and support this great community resource that we have for our community. We have vendors, we have activities for the children, we have snacks, we'll be serving dinner. It's a good resource for our families. There's right now about 20 attendees that are gonna share community resources, so I just wanted to publicly invite you. I hope that you can make it, come out for a little bit. I know some of you came out last year. We would love to see you again. The committee is really working hard to put this on for the community. So that's what I wanted to bring to your attention, and hope that you come out and support us. Thank you.
What time did you say this?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's May 6th. It's from 5 to 7, and it's at Penns Grove High School.
Thank you.
In the cafeteria. Thank you. The most important detail. My phone is like buzzing in my pocket. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Education.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me tonight. I name is Breon Gaines, class of '09. Lived in this town, this community for quite some time, and I just wanted to express some light on something that's been bothering me over the past few years. So 2 years ago, I moved back in the community, right on DuPont Street, 134, right down the street from the school, mainly because the free access of the track. I'm big in, just staying fit, staying in shape, body inactive, stays inactive. So my concern is, I have 2 children of my own. My concern is with the program, the youth, right? This town has a lot of youth, right? I took some numbers and stuff, and it makes up almost 50% of our population from the ages of 12 going all the way up to 24, right? We don't have any programs, we don't have nothing for them. We did have a youth program, let me take that back. We do have softball, we do have soccer, right? Which is, in my opinion, can sometimes be pricey, can sometimes weigh a burden on the parents, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to instill a program here. I want it to be free to the public. I mean, obviously, I need the parents to pay for certain cards to participate at certain track meets and whatnot. I want to also condemn our superintendent, our AD, for being communicative with me. I spoke with him on multiple occasions, and he gave me some insight and some things about the situation. My partner that I'm trying to try with, Mr. Ridgway, he spoke with our superintendent.
He hasn't, we have a meeting this Friday.
Yes, pertaining to the meeting, that's what I meant by speaking with you. I guess I just wanted to enlighten everything. I can't remember everything off the top of my head, so I took some notes, so please bear with me as I go through them. Again, my name is Breon Gaines, class of '09, right? I spoke briefly about our population, right? It's we have roughly between 4,800 to 4,900 civilian bodies. And anywhere from the ages of 15 to the ages of 24, it makes up, that's approximately 15.7% of our youth, right? And these are numbers that we all can look up online, right? So the reason why I say that is because when you also look up the numbers of our crime in our town, it's also very high, right? And with the youth being so high, it's like a 1 in 4, for every one person, it's like a 48% chance of that person falling in that rate. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I want to start this program, and I'm going to need everyone's help, not just the board, family members, everyone in the community, right? It's a nonprofit, right? And I want to enlighten you on some things that we focus on. We want to foster the community, right? We want to make it a big unity. We want everyone to get involved. Hearing you guys nominate all these young kids here on awards, it's like these are perfect representations to come out to the program and also have other kids feel welcome. We want to make it a family thing, right? We want to provide a positive outlook, right? We want to be mentoring, right? Through coaching, understanding that if we try hard, we can succeed. Like a lot of these kids winning these awards tonight, right? We also want to implement that student athletes, right? It's an extension from the classroom. We don't ever want to forget that, right? I do recognize that it's the town that we come in, just hearing Mrs. Hunt talk, that we can be limited on a lot of things, right? And unfortunately, money is one of them. And that's why I want this to be a free fee. I just want the kids to get out and be active, because even these things right here is, they can take control of our kids and our youth, and honestly, it's no turning back. You get to be obese and everything of those natures, right? So by us me and my partner, we're trying to implement the youth track program, right? And I reached out to our high school to use the facility. Obviously after school hours, right? We only wanted to be on it for a few days, for an hour or so. A lane is 6 lanes, and we can just use 1 lane or 2 lanes, right?
You can just wrap up, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. What's that? Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wish I would've fell so I could've got some money from you. I'm sorry, man.
Good evening, Greg Martin, 12 North Cedarwood. I have one question. My first question, I just want to ask a question about the budget. Where was the biggest savings? Was it a savings found that was a big savings item that any of you guys thought?
Savings?
Yeah.
There's never savings. It's always expenditures. The money that
No, I'm
is
saying, did they
saved
cut it?
is-
You only got to answer that now because I know my clock running. This
Yeah.
hunt done already started, so, and because we got Mr. Golden here, the athletic director, you guys know I've been passionate about, trying to improve our athletic hall of fame. It's something that I've been here, on multiple occasions here, right? So I'm just gonna read what I had wrote. I wrote that letter. I meant to send it out to you guys, but it actually slipped my mind. Mika probably has already saw it, or some people that, on what's the name, so I'll read it to you and give you where I stand at real quick. So a couple weeks ago, I had the honor of attending my son Miles' Hall of Fame induction ceremony at McDonough School in Maryland, where he boarded at for his high school career. Watching him be recognized for the dedication, sacrifice, and commitment he gave to his school was a moment of tremendous pride for our family. More importantly, it was a reminder of how meaningful it is when a school truly celebrates the athletes and coaches who helped build its legacy. The evening was done with class, pride, and purpose. The inductees were welcomed with a reception where families, alumni, and supporters could gather together. 10 former student athletes were honored in the same evening. Each inductee was introduced with their accomplishments, presented an award, and given an opportunity to share a few words. The evening created an atmosphere that showed genuine appreciation for the heart, sweat, and sacrifices these individuals gave to their school and community. It was not just an award, it was a celebration of history, pride, and legacy. For many years, I have spoken up about the Hall of Fame process of Penns Grove High School. My concern has never been about criticism for the sake of criticism. My concern has always been about ensuring that the athletes and coaches who gave so much to Penns Grove are properly honored and remembered. Too many individuals who helped shape our athletic tradition have not been recognized in the way they deserve. Inducting only one individual per year simply does not allow the program to keep pace with the many deserving candidates from past generations. I have suggested the district change this on many occasions. They actually should be doing at least 5 per year or no less. I also suggested not clumping the honorees in with another event just to do it. This should be a standalone event, in my opinion. As time passes, we unfortunately lose members of our community who should have had the opportunity to experience that recognition while they were still with us. These are individuals who gave their time, their bodies, their passion, and their pride to represent Penns Grove. Our Hall of Fame should be a source of pride for the entire community. It should bring alumni back together. It should tell the story of our school athletic history and celebrate the generations of athletes and coaches who made Penns Grove what it is. I am respectfully asking the district to consider strengthening that Hall of Fame process by inducting multiple individuals or teams each year so that the program can properly recognize the many deserving athletes and coaches from past decades, creating a meaningful induction ceremony that reflects the pride of Penns Grove athletics and allows families, alumni, community members to celebrate together, ensuring that each inductee's accomplishments are highlighted and that they are given an opportunity to share their story. Building a permanent and visible Hall of Fame display that honors these individuals and preserves the history of Penns Grove athletics for future generations. Penns Grove has produced countless athletes and coaches who represented this community with pride. Their stories deserve to be told, their accomplishments deserve to be remembered. Most importantly, they deserve to feel the appreciation of the school and community they represented. My hope is that together we can elevate the Hall of Fame to a level that truly reflects the tradition, pride, and excellence of Penns Grove athletics. Respectfully, thank you.
me time, Associate President. Going back with Ms. Hill is an outsourced member that did work hard in our district. From the beginning when the aides were outsourced to a private company, the union had a concern of this because not only were there people coming in, but it was a company that was making money on our backs and wasn't hiring members. Ms. Hill is a community member. She has worked here. I don't represent her, but I do know she worked very hard in our district and should have been compensated. I believe that what she did was work and do a job that everyone got paid when they did that job for a long-term sub. So I would support Ms. Hill. With that being said, Mr. Martin says a true statement. I went to Gateway High School, which was a kind of a rivalry of Penns Grove. But I've been in Penns Grove for almost 30 years. I've lived here in Carneys Point over 30-some years. They inducted coaches and teams this year that were my teachers and were my fellow members that I went to school with. That isn't a hard sell to celebrate people that went here and have achieved not only being coaches, but teams that have made a difference and kept people still here. Penns Grove and Carneys Point is a town of sisters and brothers, and we should be proud of their accomplishments. It shouldn't be just one. I know Mr. Mason has been not honored, but he did give a lot to this community and to our school and deserves to be recognized. And I know Mr. Martin has offered and pleaded for him to be recognized. He's just one of many. Our coaches give so much more of what their stipend is worth. It's a shame that we're not honoring more. I don't know if the committee can include maybe board members or can include maybe town people to be on this committee. It might change something and may give more of an idea of what is deserving. Our members that do this, my members that are coaches right now, I'm very proud that they do what they do. When you go to these games and see them, they're giving their whole heart to this teams and to our towns. So I want to recognize, and I hope we can do something about that. With that being said, I just wanted to say that as a union, we we supported the high school and 8th graders and went, Mr. Robinson went with us. We went to the Poconos. And one of the grants Mr. Fitzpatrick did was to provide students the opportunity to go down snowboarding. Even Mr. Mendoza went down. I would love to show you some pictures of that. But we had so much fun. We got to work with and be with these students. And you know, that's what our union does. They are going to go to Rutgers next month to see Little Women. They're honoring, the county is honoring the teachers through the county at a Phillies game. These are things that we take pride in, and we want to make sure that we're doing it so our community is working together with the union, with the teachers, with you guys, the board, and we're thankful for what you do and what we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak? With that, we'll close. Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
All in favor? Okay. The number of minutes.
Motion.
We have a motion or a second.
Motion?
So moved.
Okay, go ahead. Approval of minutes?
Okay, roll call, Ms. Allstat?
Yes.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Finkel?
Yes.
Ms. L. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. M. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stefanski?
Abstain.
Only for both or one? Special meeting?
The special meeting, yes. Yes, for the other one.
Mr. Hyde?
Yes.
And Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Now we'll have the report of the superintendent, Dr. Cogan. Motion?
So moved.
Roll call.
Ms. Allstat?
Yes.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Finkel?
Yes.
Ms. L. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. M. Smith? Mr. Stefanski?
Abstain on, we're on education.
No, we're on superintendent report.
Oh, I'm getting all ahead of myself, I'm sorry.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hyde?
Yes.
And Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we're on education.
No, fire drills.
Huh?
Fire drills. And it's just a report of the superintendent.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Wait, I'll have it on my
For
sheet.
fire drill.
Yeah, you
Good catch, though.
Yes, sir.
Marcia was.
Yep.
Okay, roll call, Ms. Allstat?
Yes.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Finkel?
Yes.
Ms. L. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. M. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stefanski?
Yes.
Mr. Hyde?
Yes.
And Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, now we have motion for education,
So moved.
1 through 10.
Any discussion?
Questions?
Yes. For number 2, for the new calendar year,
Yes.
I'm wondering why we have an in-service in January instead of May, like it usually held.
Yes. Mr. President, may I have Dr. Mayor answer?
Yes, Dr. Mayen, would you like to answer that, please?
I requested with Dr. Cobian to move it from May to January because we have a lot of curricular needs that we're gonna be implementing next year. And, I find it a struggle to meet those expectations for our teachers. And then in May, it's a little bit too late because we need to implement these, changes early for next year.
Any other questions?
Yeah. I just want to know what the New Jersey Learning Acceleration Program is.
Yeah.
High impact tutoring, that's a grant that we are applying to, so we can do small group instruction, in the students in grades. Right now, it's being implemented in grades 1 through 8, and so, we're gonna focus more on 3 through 5 next year. Hopefully we get this grant from the state.
Roll call?
Wait, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, you guys.
I call something else. With the snow days that we had this year, I see we have to change May 15 for the students to come in. And I believe, prom was also being held on May 15. So I want to know, what is the procedure for the students attending prom?
That, because it's at the high school level, I leave the high school principal to manage that. It has happened in the past, so she will probably follow the same procedures for seniors only. But it's a half day for the students. Once the board approves tonight, there will be a message sent to the parents and the staff to let them know that May 15 is a half day to make up as one of the snow days.
Any other questions? Motion roll call?
Ms. Allstat?
Yes.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Finkel?
Yes.
Ms. L. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. M. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stefanski?
Yes.
Mr.
Except
Abstentions.
for, except, I caught myself. Except for 8F, 8I, 8L, 8M, and 8R in reference to Dr. Maitland, Dr. Washington, Moody, and
So eight F, I, L, N, and R. Everything else is yes.
yes otherwise.
Thank you. Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Abstentions?
Mine's 11 and 12.
You have.
Education.
We're in education.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, look, it's my printout says.
You have 8N and 9G.
Oh. Alright. Abstain?
Four.
Just for those.
You want me to read it for you, Mr. President?
Eight N and 9G.
Yeah, alright, well, why is this saying, on my paper here, it says 11 and 12, and they're saying 8, so what?
That's not this meeting.
What, so that was in my paperwork.
That's, I gave you a new one, that's
Yeah.
last month's meeting?
Yeah, well, this is the one I received.
No, sir.
Yeah.
That's last month's, I gave you.
Yeah, I understand, Taylor, I know how to read, bro.
I'm not saying you don't, sir.
If you're gonna try to make if you're gonna try to make an ass out of me, I told you to back once.
Mr. Ty?
No,
Don't raise your voice to me,
I'm not
sir.
gonna, I'm
I
hard
gave
to
you
hear.
this sheet.
I'm hard,
So
your
am I.
little
So am I.
giggles ain't cutting it with me. All right?
There's no little
Okay.
giggles, sir, I'm correcting.
All right,
making
yeah, thank
sure
you for that.
abstain for the proper motion.
Thank you.
That's all, it's
All
just for your benefit.
I show respect, you show respect. All right, go ahead, on, education 8 and 9, abstain. Yeah. No, well, that's the paper I was in my binder, whoever made these papers, I told you last night that my paperwork was all that stuff. And how to read.
Motion passes.
Policy,
Second.
thank you. Yep. Any questions? Anybody got any questions? I have a question, as far as, we got the matter corrected as far as the hiring practice of the superintendent, and everything was, worked out, and it looks like it's gonna be, we're gonna get a lot of good things out of it. What we're projecting and what we're gonna vote on, it's gonna work out for everybody. Roll call? Roll call?
Ms. Alston?
Yes.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Finkel?
Yes.
Ms. L. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. M. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stefanski?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
And Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Finance and facilities? 1 through 15. Discussion, any questions?
I have one question. For number 12, the soil remediation project, is that like preparing the grounds for the playground that we're doing, or is this something else? What's the soil and what's being remediated?
Yeah, just to be clear, it's remediation, not radiation.
Yeah, remediation, that's the word I use, in case anybody misheard me, remediation.
What is it?
So it's-
Number 12.
Number 12. So this is part of the preschool expansion program, project, and there's a small area closer to the residential side where the soil has to be tested further to make sure that it's okay, due to like the runoff of oil and everything from that residential, so it's a small area within that side of the property.
Yes, I have a question for you, Mr. And it's about the checks, on check number,
Wait, let me get payment.
yeah, payment, yeah, it's just a few of them. Check number 08091, it says Quest diagnosis for $940, is that for drug testing for the students?
Yes.
Okay, and how often, I mean, not to get too into it, but have we always used Quest, or it happens quite frequently? Yeah.
Yeah, you usually have like a set
provider, whether it's Quest or whatever the other one is. Yeah.
That's about it. The other one, you answered in the back for me, about the taxes being taken out. Very good, thank you. Any other questions? Roll call?
Ms. Austin?
I will abstain on number 8 and yes to the rest.
No, no.
And number 8, and yes to everything else. Mr. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Finkel?
Yes.
Ms. L. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. M. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stefanski?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
And Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. On personnel. Now on the personnel. 1 through 34. Motion? Second. All right. Any questions? Roll call?
Ms. Allstat?
Yes.
Mr. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Finkel?
Yes.
Ms. L. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. M. Smith? Mr. Stefanski?
Abstain on number 24, yes otherwise.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
And Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Now we're on to new business.
I have plenty of new business, but does anybody else have their own new business? before I get into that? No, but you go first.
I'll get first. With the new expansion of Lafayette Pershing, will there be space for the specialists to have a room instead of being on a cart? Once they have more space to put the pre-K students, well, my understanding is that we have specialists that don't have classrooms, that they're on a cart. And I just feel, as being a former cart teacher in Grove Street for a while, it's difficult to teach. Especially, I mean, we've
I won't be
expanded.
able to tell you about that until it's finally done and we have the enrollment.
Okay, so I just know
Because
that.
we have 12 classrooms, that's all we have, the space is.
I know being on a cart, you just can't do everything you like to do, especially with materials and things like that, you know, hands-on and.
Usually specialists, they go, that's why we're specialists, they're not having a full class, they rotate.
Yeah, they
and
go into
float
classrooms, what I'm
into
saying is
different
they take all the art
classrooms.
supplies and the, you know. and
I
they use it.
understand what you're saying, I understand. But right now it's just 12 classrooms and I will not be able to say if they will have it or not. Because the priority is to fill the classroom with the universe that we have.
Well, all the kids
The
take
amount that
advantage
we
of
have.
going into those rooms.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know that there was 4 boys in track and field, 4 people in the track and field that got into the Adidas Indoor Nationals. I think that's something that we should try to recognize them for.
Very nice.
Help them out as much as we can in that. But yeah,
Nice.
I saw our track coach posted about it. I just wanted to make sure that we
All right.
recognize that.
Any other questions? Casey, before you start.
He's asking for any other questions before me,
Yeah.
just to tell everybody that's why he's raising that question.
Anybody else?
My thing's gonna be a while, you know.
Yeah, but, Casey, before you start, I just want to let the board know and the public that when me and you went away for president and vice president up north, was a 9-hour day, and I was never more proud to serve on the board with you. You conducted court up there. He really did an outstanding job.
I have so many
I was very proud of you.
It's part of my responsibilities as a board member. But here,
Now, don't
Miss
speak for an hour,
Ms. Smith, did you wanna get your bid out first?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. One of them is, I'm happy that the students had an amazing play. It was amazing. It was a great show. My only thing is, could we look into providing them more mics? Because sometimes I felt like it was difficult to hear, so having more mics will make it easier to do a nice presentation. My other thing is, how does the community apply to use our facilities?
There is a process, there's applications online on our website that they apply for the use of facilities and is sent to the school where they're interested. Many people, would love to use the high school. The problem is our high school is always, packed with the activities for our students. So on Sundays, people want to use the facilities, but on Sundays, the schools are not open. So many times, there is a lot of requests for Sunday use of facilities. And the schools are not open on Sunday, so those are declined. It goes first to the building principal, it's the form. So if the space is not available at that time because we have our own programs, then it's declined and they can apply for the facilities, which has happened before, either at the middle school or in any of the other schools. The principals, because they are the ones that know the schedule of the school, are the ones that decide if the school they're able to approve it or not. That's the process.
So with the gentleman that came up, to start a track program, would he be able to apply for the summer use?
They can use the facilities and apply because the use of our facilities must be in the end board approved. But the first approval, that's why we have those layers. It's at the building because I don't know what is scheduled in the buildings for them. So the directors do not know either. So it's the building principals, and from them, it goes to the business office, where then we check for the certificate of insurance. Because if they're gonna use our facilities and something happens, somebody falls on our grounds, then it might become our responsibility and our liability. And for that reason, we ask for that certificate of insurance. And once they complete all those requirements, then it comes to my level for checking again and then approving and bringing it to the board. That's the process.
My other question is, for the Hall of Fame, who is part of the committee, and who chooses that committee?
That's at the high school level, because that's where those events happen. So it's under, Ms. O'Brien and they have their committee already. The committee has been revamped because it was all based on some of the suggestions that Mr. Martin has provided. And we are looking into doing, honoring more than one of the persons in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, great, okay. So if you can't tell, I use a lot of blue pen on this, just for the community. I took a lot of notes at this event. Tax dollars at work. Here, that's the more controversial one, so I'll skip to that later. But I learned a lot of good stuff about how some other districts structure their meetings. So even like we have several committee men and women here tonight, they can attest to their meetings being structured similarly, is breaking up public discussion. So it would be something more like, the first one that we currently have would be limited to action items that we're about to vote on. Say there's something controversial, like a hiring or whoever, they might wanna say something before we just vote on that. We have them say what they want to speak to, and then they are allowed to discuss that specific topic. And then close that public session. And then after voting, a lot of them will have another public comment where it's free for whatever topic, barring all the legal caveats that Mr. President always has to do when he does the regular public discussion. A lot of the other boards that we had met with said it helped their meetings flow a lot better, because a lot of people, like, if I may, Mr. Martin's example in the past is he might have had something he wanted to say on the athletics, but he'll say that in the beginning, and then he or whoever might have a reason to leave early, and then they'll leave before we get to comment on it at the end. This gives them a closer response time if we're going to be able to provide one, which I think would be a welcomed upgrade. I also learned about various committees. Dr. Kobian, I appreciate you enlightening me on the past committees that the district has had. But I learned of some different committee structures that a lot of other districts have. The lovely lady that Joe and I talked to, one of the board members from Cherry Hill, she had told us about the various committees that they have that kind of align with the way our agenda is structured, with having committees on policy and legislation, business and budget, curriculum and instruction, community engagement / professional development, and then another one that I heard from a different board member of like internal governance. The way that they had them structured was something where it would be up to 3 members. I'm trying to remember specifically because this is the one thing I didn't write down, is up to 3 members with other board members being able to request to be there as the 4th, but obviously we're all very aware once you get up to 5, that's quorum and that's a public meeting, so we can't do that. She told us a lot of good stuff about what to be careful for with committees, because I know Dr. Kobian, you stressed how careful we have to be to not get into administration and all that. But it was a lot of good stuff about like the different types, how each different type of committee functions and what they oversee, and they would have to provide reports back to the rest of the board. So even say, if it was myself, one of the lovely Miss Smiths, or Mr. Finkel, we would have to put together a report to share with the rest of the committee prior to the next board meeting, stuff like that. Let's see, what's the other thing? Ooh, another one was stuff with the convention. A lot of other districts will have it so that if they don't have a special meeting for it themselves, at least, the meeting right after the school board's convention in the fall, they'll have kind of a recap meeting where all the different members come forward and they'll discuss like things they might have learned, things they found out about, things they want to share with the rest of the board. Like me, I'm a part of several different community organizations, if anybody is tired of seeing my face. But like Robert's Rules of Order, I cannot stress enough how important it is to know Robert's Rules of Order. Like trainings on that might be good to share with the rest of the board, because like we're all fairly intelligent people, we all care, but we all can't all go to the same classes, thank you. We all can't go to all of them. I know that there was like 5 on school lunches that I wanted to go to. I'm hoping Miss Green went to the ones that I weren't able to go to. But it was a good way for us all to like regroup and learn what everybody had learned. They also had talked about like doing board retreats so that way we can, get to know each other better and to work on the goals that we want for the district. Right, post-convention meeting, board retreats. Similarly, the board member I met with again, had talked about doing like an annual kind of Robert's Rules of Order training, just so that way like the first meeting of the year, whoever is president, Madam President, Mr. President, whoever, that way they know going into it, like this is how I run a meeting, this is how everybody else in the meeting is supposed to act, like this is what making a motion means, this is something that needs a motion, but this is something that doesn't. Makes things a little more streamlined when we all know the rules, right? Okay, now the more controversial thing. The R word, not the bad one, regionalization. I learned a lot about the different forms of regionalization. Like I know a few years ago, I remember Ms. High also being there, about the extreme lengths that they wanted the county to go to with regionalization. I do not want something that huge. But they had talked about like the bill currently pending in the legislature that might get rid of districts smaller than 500 in size, student population obviously. And I had done a lot of back of the hand math when they were talking about how that would affect things like our student population, the board makeup. And they had different incentives where they'll provide grants that will cover 100% of the cost of the study for regionalization for any districts. I understand one of our nearby districts has had their own reservations with how students are divvied up in the county. But I think it might be a worthwhile endeavor to at least reach out to maybe a district like Oldman's or Petritown, whichever name we're using. Oldman's, okay. Just because their student body is under 300 students, not even like 4 or 5, it's under 3. Because we could get the costs fully covered by the state. There's no requirement that they have to do regionalization afterwards. There's no commitments on either side. They'll examine things from making sure that whatever contracts the local associations make are, I'm trying to figure out, or trying to remember the exact phrasing, but it would default to the quote-unquote better one, I believe, but it just goes through all the different ways that regionalization would affect things, like our universal free lunch and breakfast program, how that would be affected by the new students, or the different staffing things that would change.
Pay scales of teachers.
Yes, like all the things that everybody is worried about, they study for that. And while I am not going to endorse regionalization by such a severe degree as they were in the county a few years ago, I think smaller scale studies like this with a smaller district like right next to us where we already receive a fair amount of their students anyways, like many of them go to high school. One of my close friends from high school, one of Mr. Ruttero's daughters, okay, he's not here, but I'm sure you'll pass it on to him, Dr. O'Brien. But another form of regionalization that they had talked about is shared services between the schools in the county. Something that I had thought of because not Source for Teachers, but another similar company that provides like substitute services, other staffing solutions as they say. But this was an idea that I had spitballed it with Joe a little bit when we were there. But it might be a worthwhile endeavor to work with the other districts in the county to try and come up with like a county-wide pool of subs or aides or other associated staff, just because that way it can be kept not in-house here, but at least in-house in the county. And then they would be, you know, actual employees with rights to collective bargaining, health insurance and all that stuff. But it wouldn't be something where it's this outside company that we don't have as much control as we would have as a direct employee, but it still kind of shares the costs with the county. I'm always going to be against privatized services to any degree I can. But I think doing it this way, if we could get like a regional version that's set up between the school districts elsewhere in the county, I think it'd be a cost saver, if nothing else, to keep the people that educate and assist our districts in the county.
Jason, can I add to that, what you just got done saying?
Yeah, I'm finally done.
All right, remember when we were up there, and they had the group of ladies got up there for, it was an outfit just like the ESS, and they're selling the whole group, how great it is, and we got this, we got that, and it's gonna be like this, and I said, I waited for them to get done, and I said, well, where's the future of our teachers coming in there? So you're hiring all these people that don't work in the town, don't live in the town. There's nobody's being drafted into where it's becoming a legitimate teacher. If you constantly have subs, so it was just an outfit just like the ESS school. When I started answering the question, they had no answers for it. And when it got to the point where I said, well, how's that fit in what we're trying to do with young teachers? Like, it's easy to pick up a phone and say, yeah, send me that person, I'm just using ESS, but this other outfit was the same way. You're not getting the quality of teachers like subs and whatever that, but if you don't stay stringent upon always going to the well, wanting substitute teachers that's gonna do something for our schools, instead of taking the easy way out and saying, all right, send this one in to that one, and believe me, what I was told after that, two young ladies got done talking, people that had that outfit, you're not getting your bags for the buck. And that's exactly how I pronounce myself to them. Thank you, Casey.
I will add one more thing I forgot. The idea I'm suggesting with a kind of like countywide regionalization, so to speak, with like subs and all that might be something we could get covered with a grant. So that way we don't have to pay anything with it. Like the regionalization grants, I'm not sure how expansive they are, but if it's a regionalized service in the county, we might be able to investigate that without that actually being a cost to our district or even any of the others in the county. I'm not sure about the exact things with the grant stuff, I just know that there's a lot of grant money for investigating regionalization services, and if we can do that for that, I don't see the harm.
One of them is shared services and one is regionalization of schools. So there's, not that I'm aware of any grant funding to put together shared services. So for like a joint commission for trash pickup, or, you know, if there's a way to do it for staffing or things like that. So that's separate. The regionalization grants are because you're required to do those big regionalization studies and bring in experts. And they do cost a lot of money. That's what that money is typically earmarked for, not for consolidating or sharing services. But there's also, it's not a cost to explore that, like, there's not a fee to explore shared service, but it's a lot of work, and somebody has to take the laboring oar to figure out how to put it together. A lot of times there's legal work that goes into it to make sure what's permitted and what's not, and who's responsible for what costs and what's not. So they're not free, but it's not like regionalization where you're required to go out and get this report and those sort of things for like consolidated school districts.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. All right, now we move on to old business, unfinished business. Do we have any questions? Okay.
Last meeting, I had asked for a presentation for special ed. And I wanted to know when could that presentation be done?
That's a good question, we talked before. No, that'll be me. Because the presentation usually is done by the special education director. So in her absence, probably we'll wait till May, after all the budget items are done, because we're gonna have, on April 27th, we're gonna have the budget adoption, the budget hearing. And that is a bit more, involved. So probably in May, that will be a good time to do that. And if, Dr. Booth's still absent, then Dr. Cannarelli is covering her absence.
Any other questions for old business? Okay.
You go first, Ms. Smith.
Sorry. Last month I also brought up us, the board, adopting a policy on exit interviews. And I didn't see a first read for the policy, so I wanted to know.
No, because it has to be, we have an exit policy. The exit policy says that and how we're gonna do it, depend on what the board wants to add.
So what's the process for this?
The process for the exit interview is that we select at random who, and it can be done by me or my designee.
So can we adopt a new policy where the exit interviews can be conducted by the HR director?
No.
Why not?
Because it's the superintendent or their designee. The board can do policy, but now you're going into regulation. Who does it? And that is more at the level of the administrator. The board, you can look at I can bring the exit policy for the board, the next board meeting, so you guys can study, but it's changing what is there, know who does it. Because now you're going into regulation. Remember the training we had about that? because the board does the policy, but how the policy is implemented is then the administration, the superintendent. So I will bring the exit interview, if you wanna do, that is not, is everybody that must be, those changes like that, it can be. You
Okay,
can
yeah.
do that.
I was gonna ask that, like, can we change it to where, like, every employee gets offered the exit interview instead of it being randomly selected?
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
that's something the board can do.
Okay.
Yes.
That was
Yeah,
probably-
you can always change things at a policy level,
Yeah.
if it's the consensus of the board to do it. But what Dr. Cobian was talking about is the implementation. If the board can't drill too far down into that, because it turns
That
into
is
the
correct.
administration of the
Yeah,
schools.
it turns into us being like day to day.
So can we get that information?
It
to you?
depends if the board,
Mr.
president
President?
can ask
Yes.
the board for that.
Yes, I'd be more than happy to,
Maybe you have to ask the board.
Well, you can also do this like, after the meeting and get a
Yeah.
consensus in terms of like, poll, is there a consensus issue in the board? I think at first just present the policy, so
yeah,
you can
well,
take
I
a
was
look
gonna
at
say,
it.
table, it, then take it, when you wanna have it in public hearing or in closed session, or?
I think you're too far ahead of the game. Take a look at the policy first, and then if it's the
Alright.
consensus of everybody, that's all things you can do.
Alright, does that sound good?
I will
Okay.
say, just circling back to what I was just talking about a little bit ago, that might be a good thing for a committee on policy and legislation.
Yeah, but we don't have to do committees, it's a complete revamp, it doesn't happen from one board meeting to the other.
I'm just
Okay?
putting it
It's
out
different.
there.
And that would also be a consensus of the board, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of factors that go into
Yeah,
that.
and preparation, it's not as easy as we do
It's,
committees.
I mean, obviously after the budget and all, this is something I would like us to work on like during the summer.
Yeah, cause a lot of schools has it, it's not like, it's something.
Yeah, big
completely-
districts have that.
It's a lot of
Because
staff resources.
It's a lot
that
of
go into
staff,
it.
they have, like Mr. Ty mentioned, 11,000 employees, so therefore there is the need for those. But we can explore it, and again, it was here one time, it did not work, so we can explore it again, but it's not as simple as saying, I wanna have committees, and the committees happen the next meeting, it's not like that. Because we have to revamp, and at what times, and what dates, and what people are gonna be there, and then what are the topics we're gonna cover, and which committees we're gonna have. So it's a lot of work involved in
No,
that.
I was just putting
Well,
that out there
excuse me,
that.
Dr. Cogan, from what we just learned up at the meeting, Casey went there, and it's like, I don't wanna get off track or anything, but it's up to the school board.
No.
Well, if you're gonna form a committee,
What she's saying is, it's something that takes time to develop and.
oh yeah, I know,
Not
it's
that-
not gonna happen overnight, but I'm getting the feeling like it's up to the superintendent to give it her blessing, and it's not.
No, it's the preparation of it, it has to be, the board decides, but the preparation of that it has to be
Alright.
with the
That's
superintendent.
ours and certainly what she said. And the only matter for old business, which is something that can also be dealt with after budget season is done, is just the latest updates on the energy efficiency audit and solar and all that.
Anybody else? I got one thing for old business. I'd like to shout out to Abner Mendoza, Bobby Fitzpatrick, Mrs. Ty, and all that was involved, Mrs. Beals, everybody was involved, going to the Sixers game and going to the skiing, getting the grants, getting all the kids home, getting them to the game and back safely, and for the extra work that Mr. Fitzpatrick did, getting the grants, securing the trips for the kids. They deserve a lot, thank you. And with that, like the motion to adjourn the meeting,
So moved.
Second.
have a good night.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Consensus of the board.
Meeting adjourned
Let me know you made it home, brother. I like that. Let me know you made it home, brother. See you later.
before you head out, my friend? Good to see you. He's all set.
Charlie, you don't want to put on
I know, I see Lillian like a week or two ago at Shoppers. And look,
You know my brother.
I know.
We're gonna work on that.
Yeah.